get-togethers with friends and family this time of year, but who wants to spend all that quality time in the kitchen? I don't.
Nobody does.
Can you take your high heels off, Brian?
I will. I didn't mean to wear them today.
Oh, gosh, darn it. This is Melting Pot's Brian Downing, and he stopped by our studio today. This is so exciting, you guys, because you are going to share with us some of your exclusive recipes. And this is a big deal, you guys.
Yeah, we at the Melting Pot, we're going to be making a cheese fondue here in a moment.
I love it.
We're doing a cranberry walnut cheddar. This is the cheese we're offering on New Year's Eve exclusively.
Okay, but so you can't get it any other time of the year, right?
Correct.
This is pretty cool. So these are the ingredients that you are using?
This is it. I'm going to start off first, and we're going to use sparkling cider. Now, a lot of people, when you're making this cheese at home, if you'd like to, the base is what determines how big the cheese is going to be. So an easy rule to follow is 2 ounces of base per person who's going to be eating the cheese.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. And before you add the ingredients, I just want to point out one thing. Oh, that's the finished one, Brendan. Don't show that one.
Oh, look at that.
This is a special pot. This is a fondue pot that you guys sell at the Melting Pot.
That is correct.
But you know what? Brian's going to be kind enough to share with us some pots that, well, you can get this at the Melting Pot, but there's also other fondue pots out, around town.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to give us some tips on which ones to get.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we've got our sparkling cider. Next, we're going to come in with some shallots.
And how many shallots per person?
I usually go with about 1 demi-spoon. Next, we're going to use chopped cranberries.
That was a test, and you passed.
Oh, thank you. And then a tiny bit of mustard powder.
Wow. Your tiny is pretty big.
Well, you know.
And of course it would be, because how tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
Dang, you and
How
Dennis.
tall are you? I don't want to say.
With heels on?
Yeah.
5'5" with heels. But you and Dennis, we're going to have to have a little comparison later.
Dennis is tall.
Dennis is very tall.
We'll have a basketball game later.
Can you wave back there, Dennis? Wave back there. Dennis is also our taste tester, by the way, who will, there he is, who will, it's kind of up to Dennis is how you do it here.
The pressure is on.
Yeah.
So now we're coming in with cheese. 2 different kinds of cheese in here. We've got a blend of 80% Wisconsin sharp cheddar and then 20% Swiss. Plus we put a light dusting of cornstarch on the cheese.
You know, I was wondering what that was. You can kind of see that. And is that to help thicken it?
It helps thicken it up. If you don't put the cornstarch on, you might have a layer of oil that's sitting on top of the cheese when you're done. That eliminates all of that together.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Secret ingredient.
Yeah, that's why you're the expert.
So now we're coming in with the cheese. The reason we use a little bit of Swiss in there as well, it kind of milds out the sharpness of the cheddar. But the finished product will taste nothing like Swiss cheese, just cheddar.
So do you have to really man this? I mean, you got to keep stirring it, or because it's not directly on the heat. You've
Correct.
got water under
It's
there,
a double
right?
boiler, so the
Okay.
steam you see coming out is actually from underneath the pot.
Okay.
And once the cheese is done, we turn it down to low, and it can, hang out for a good 30 minutes or so before it will start to build a little bit of a crust on it.
That's quite a bit of cheese. Are you eventually going to put all the cheese in there?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It all depends. I'm looking for the consistency of about warm honey when I'm done. You don't want the cheese so thick that it tears the bread when you put it in there, but you don't want it so thin that it doesn't stick to the bread.
Okay, so we have about a minute left, and I know that that's basically the ingredients, but it's what is the name of this recipe again? Cheddar
This is
walnut?
the cranberry walnut cheddar.
Okay, well,
And
semantics.
come in with a little bit of pepper.
Oh, where did you get
like
that from?
People always ask what this is, and I always tell them it's a fire extinguisher.
It's in his back pocket. I always have a pepper grinder in my back pocket.
And then we're going to come in and just top it off with chopped walnuts on the very top.
Oh, that looks fabulous, Brian. Can we talk real quickly about some of the different things that you use to dip in this particular
Now, here we have
fondue?
3 different kinds of bread. We have French, rosemary, and honey wheat breads.
Okay.
Plus also Granny Smith apples. A lot of people think apples and cheese are not delicious. It is delicious, surprisingly good.
Oh.
And then also some vegetables over to the side.
And then you would dip vegetables in there too?
Oh, yeah.
You would dip a pickle in there?
Oh, yeah. It's delicious and nutritious with the veggies.
I believe you. I believe you. That, you know what? I had no idea how easy that was. That was super simple. When you come back a little bit later in the show, you're going to make a dessert.
I am.
Wait till you hear this. It's has a snickerdoodle in it.
It is. It's going to be milk chocolate, some caramel, and then a little secret ingredient.
Okay. All right. Can I dip in here?
You sure can.
Okay, because as I mentioned, we got our little taste tester over here. Thanks, Brian.